right into the review, and I'm going to turn to, for all intents and purposes, Steve.
Oh, really? Okay, that's the least flattering terms.
Would you say it was okay?
2 stars.
Yeah, Steve Moore, everyone.
Steve, how did you feel about the Green Hornet?
Well, I was getting very nervous because I was reading some reviews that weren't very positive.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Because I like to interact with the world
I saw
around me.
on like Rotten Tomatoes, it was like 44%. Yeah.
Yeah, it was not going well.
Yes.
I went in there and I had a blast.
Yeah.
This was one of the funnest movies I've seen. It's almost the perfect summer movie for some reason in the middle of January.
Middle of January, yeah.
I mean, I was laughing almost nonstop. I was engaged in the action. The characters were, I wouldn't say completely likable. They were people that I really enjoyed watching interact with one another. And
great chemistry between the characters.
Yeah. And Seth Rogen and Jay Cho, their relationship, their chemistry was amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. I want to see them do more stuff together. They could just sit in a room and talk to each other, but that's all. They were incredible. Yeah. This movie was from beginning to end just like nonstop fun.
Yeah, Seth Rogen made that character enjoyable to watch, but not likable throughout the movie. Like, he was pretty despicable at parts in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
But see, his being despicable, I really thought was kind of interesting. That kind of like harkened back to the way that his dad was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I thought that was a nice little touch that he doesn't realize it, but he's a lot like his dad.
Yeah.
Who I also appreciated that his dad was just kind of a jerk. Mm-hmm. And that's how him and...
A jerk with integrity?
A jerk with integrity. How him and Kato actually kind of bonded was over what, like, an a-hole his dad was.
Yeah. And I like they never tried to explain away that his dad's a jerk. Like, his dad was just a jerk. I was afraid there was going to come a moment where, well, he was a jerk because he was trying to teach you something. And no, he was just a jerk.
He was a jerk.
And that's just the character he was. Yeah. And I appreciated that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought this movie was everything I expected it to be. I came out of the movie yesterday and I was like, yeah, that was exactly what I was looking for. It was a superhero movie with a couple of guys who are a bunch of nobodies, and they were just figuring it out, and it was fun. It was just a fun movie. So, I don't know. I mean, like, we talked about it last week, and I was, like, the one guy who was saying, like, I think this is going to be really good, and it was interesting watching your responses where you're concerned that this is coming out in the middle of January, and this is I don't know. Like, I was really happy with the way it came out. I really had a good time. I have nothing else to say about this movie. Would go through with it.
Why do you think origin stories so fascinate us? Why do you think we're so drawn to them? And why do you think maybe particularly right now Hollywood keeps feeling the need to go back to origin stories, especially with comics?
It's always hard to live up. The origin stories are usually the best, and it's always hard to live up to that afterwards. I mean, that's kind of one of the problems with Iron Man 2, is without that origin story, it's just sort of like, well, he's already powerful, so there's no like build up, there's no
change.
Yeah, there's no growth. It's just sort of like, oh, he's got to fight people again. Even with Spider-Man 2 is arguably better than the first one, but it still has that same problem that he's already Spider-Man. So how is this character going to grow? Mm-hmm. You know, and it deals with that, but it's a problem that any superhero story that's not an origin story has to deal with. How do we make this character grow if he's not becoming the hero?
Well, there's also the argument that sequels to comic book movies can be better because it's not bogged down trying to explain where this person came from.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't always agree with that, but I just want to throw it in there because the first movie in a franchise like Spider-Man or whatever spends a lot of the movie showing
him getting his powers, him learning how to do various things. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think the fact that origin story is being done more now is a credit to the directors and the writers for being able to take something that ordinarily would be boring, where you're trying to explain away someone's path just so you can get to the action, but they're actually focusing on the character development and the actual story of the person. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a credit, because if you look at some of the origin stories that you might have seen back in the 80s, I mean, you're kind of like, come on, just get to the action already. Like, this is not being done really
there's
well.
No character
Yeah.
development.
Yeah, I mean, like, you even look at the original Superman, like, it just felt so slow. And, anyways, but, so that's one thing I want to point out. Like, I think it's a credit to the directors and the writers to actually make it an interesting story and to tell something about a person. And I think they stumbled onto something, because the thing with origin stories is that you're taking a nobody and you're turning him into a somebody, and that's something that any person can relate to. You know, we all want to be more than what we are right now, and that's why the origin story can be interesting, because you can identify the characters, and you say, I want something like that to happen to me.
Yeah.
No, and that's really important. We can really identify the characters.
Green Hornet. Green Hornet versus Apocalypse Now.
No, Apocalypse Now. You guys know how I feel
God, I
about
hate when
Apocalypse
Apocalypse
Now.
Now comes up.
Because I know it's a good movie, but I don't like it.
Yeah.
It is. It's
The one that-
it's one of those
Like, I
movies.
feel-
I understand that.
Like, I will hate myself if I pick Green Hornet over Apocalypse Now, because
I won't.
You'll just feel like less of a
well,
film student.
we know that you
We know that you have no scruples picking
you have no
crap.
conscience at all.
Yeah.
No, I don't, because I think about, okay, when I sit down, which one do I enjoy watching more? I mean, maybe not on a
can't-
level of fun, but which one do I get more out of?
Okay.
Which one do I...
Thank you for qualifying that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Seriously,
No, yeah,
you
I
voted
mean,
for Catfish.
I would say, I mean, if this were up against Schindler's List, I enjoy watching Schindler's List. It's not a fun movie,
It's funny
but
how
I
Schindler's
get...
List is like the go-to movie.
Schindler's
Yeah.
List is the
because you can't say anything
You
against
can't,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can't.
That's
It's
why.
a great movie, and
Yeah.
I
It
get a
is
lot
black
out of
and
it.
White.
Whatever.
Lame.
I was about to make a really, really bad joke.
Um,
I'm
but
not going to do it on the podcast.
Yeah.
which one do I end up feeling like I just had a great experience watching? And it's Green Hornet. Apocalypse Now, I'm lucky if I'm not asleep by the end.
Apocalypse Now is amazing. Just amazing.
It's amazing filmmaking,
Yeah.
but I'm lucky if I'm not asleep by the end.
But that has a
Usually
lot
connected
more
to the
to
story.
do with like the length of it. You know, much like say the Godfather and the Godfather Part 2. The
You can
fact that
say
they're
Schindler's List. It's okay.
Schindler's yeah, Schindler's
You know it's a
List.
3.5-hour movie.
Yeah, the fact
Yeah.
that you have to sit there for 3.5 hours.
But I'm not
Yeah.
like falling asleep by the end of Schindler's List.
Mm.
I'm usually in tears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I might be in tears with Apocalypse
I
Now, but
really want to pick Green Hornet.
do it. Just do it.
Apocalypse
Just
Now is
do
so
it.
much better. Just
I know that.
so much better. It's amazing. I mean, it's. It's the Nate and Alvin show.
First edition. This
Pretty
is our
awesome.
first- Well, I don't know. Well, pretty awesome, but we're pretty.
We are pretty.
Very pretty. I like your hat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Ladies, watch out.
Can even tell that there have been chicks all over it,
Nope, you
or a
can't.
chick.
Mhm.
You know,
Just on the hat.
just
not on, not on me.
not on
No.
the tablecloth
Mhm.
either.
No.
We take good care of this, and this is a family show, by the way. Yeah,
Yes.
the Nate and Alvin family show.
Yes, so watch out, moms.
Wow.
I have no scruples.
Wait, what did you say? Were you saying watch out moms or watch out your mom? Like, are we
You're
targeting
like your mom.
We are targeting
I am
moms. We're targeting
other-
the mothers.
Other moms.
Yeah, okay, alright, wow. Yeah,
It's
you know,
not
I mean,
Oedipus complex.
it is, so, well, I mean, hey, listen, I mean, I'm getting to the point where a lot of my peers are moms.
Mm,
So,
mhm.
you know, it's not so awkward anymore.
Might still be a little awkward, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, they're my peers, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
if I were not in a relationship, it would not be so weird
Would not be so
to
strange.
say, hey,
Yeah.
you're a single mom.
Right.
Sorry, however that came about, but I'm here to make it better.
Yeah. That's on film.